Welcome to Empire Build Academy. I'm Fabian. This is Evony Beginner's Guide Part 2, and we've pretty much got all buildings unlocked. Let's do this. So if you've been watching my last couple of videos, you may have noticed that I've now got a structure on how these videos are going to work on each of the games. And basically it's the 9-step process where I will do 9 different steps: a beginner's guide, construction guide, research guide, troops, heroes, defense, finished off with attack, events guide, and then a frequently asked questions. And I will put all those 9 different videos together. Well, actually there'll be 10 because there'll be 2 beginners ones. And then I'll put them all neatly on the YouTube channel and also on the empirebuildacademy.com website as well. So that's how the new process is working. This is Beginner's Guide Part 2 for Evony. Let's jump over to that scene right now. And what I'm using for this one is my actual main account because I've got absolutely everything unlocked. And what will happen in the construction video is I will jump into all of these different buildings and give a really good overview as to what they are and what their purpose is. As for this beginner's guide, I'm just going to jump around a little bit more about the different things that you can see on screen. Let's jump to the top left where it says my power and has my icon. If I click on my icon, I can see my Monarch, and you can see I've got different equipment equipped to give me different buffs. So for argument's sake, this mountain dagger level 8 is giving me attacking ground troop attack by 86%, and you can see you've got lots of different ones there that you can add depending on what it is you're doing. So if you are, say, for argument's sake, defending in server versus server, you would want to have one set up, like I have here, for mounted defense. And then you can see that this will change. And you may have noticed that actually, when I went into that mounted one, it was actually not set up correctly. And it just goes to show, even when you are far into this game, you can still have mistakes that can happen. Probably not as much as me, but you can still have mistakes that happen that need fixing. And just to show what's obviously happened there is somewhere down the line, I'd gone onto my mounted defense, and for whatever reason, I'd changed a lot of it to ground. So when I was actually applying these Monarch settings, I was actually getting ground buffs and not my majority mounted buffs, which is what I should have done. And in order to do that, all we need to do is go into this, and obviously you've got different ones that you can add. You can add a new combination, but if you wanted to do what I just did where I fixed the mounted defense, and let's do that on ranged, all I'd need to do is click onto edit, and then it would save it as to whatever I've got attached right now. So as I've got the mounted troop buffs attached, that's what would save under my ranged one. So select what you want. Once you've done that, go into the little armor icon and then either A, add a new combination, or B, choose an existing one that you want that now saved under. And you can see now that that is now correct in the way it should be. And like I say, you should really have one for when you're attacking, if you're doing monsters. There's various different ones you can have there. Obviously, it's very difficult to switch in between these when playing things like Battlefield and server versus server, but if you can just get into a routine, most of the time I've got my mounted defense on, and then what would happen then is if I can change in time I might, and if I was attacking monsters I could potentially change to that as well. And like I say, you can have quite a few different combinations in there, and that is how you do that. So let's have a look at what else we've got on here. So we've got the detail, and if you click on the detail button, you can see you've got all the different things. So you can see my total power, Monarch power, construction power, technology, all the way down, as well as my subordinate cities as well, which we'll have a little chat about in a minute. And then you've got the battle stats, and you can literally keep that open if you wanted, and people can view that, or you can take that off and leave that completely hidden. Again, we can continue down. You can see you've got military as well, and there are basically all the different buffs that you have. So you can see there, in-city mounted troop HP for my account is 643%, and the defense is 910%. And this is where you could, like I say, jump all the way down and see all the different information about your accounts. You've also got a resources one as well, where you can see exactly what you're producing and how much. I'll be honest, I could probably do a little bit more work on this, but that's something I haven't done at the moment. And then we've got the administration as well, so you can see how much your construction speed, research speed, and all those kind of things are as well. So that was, like I say, let's just do that again. Top left corner, click on your icon, and you've got your different things in there. You can also see your talent tree, so you can see if you're doing the right things in here. And you can also see that we've got two that we can switch between. So you could make one, for argument's sake, for doing construction and research speed and going down this particular tree, or you could have one that goes via the attack and things like that as well. It's obviously up to you. You get two options to be able to do that, and that is also there. We've also got fame down at the bottom as well, and this is where you can collect different rewards for doing different tasks. So you can see there, keep architect number 6. Once I upgrade my keep to level 40, I will win these additional prizes. And you can see that I've already done quite a few, and my fame points is 2,227. And I would also reach other awards once I reach 2,400. So that is for your fame. You've also got an emblem list, and this is where you can literally have things showing. So you can see that at the top there, I've got 4 different things showing that will be viewable when people click on my Monarch. So once they click on my Monarch, they will be able to see those 4 additional things. And let's just go back into that 1 second. And if we click on the information, you can choose up to 4 emblems to display in your Monarch interface. Other Monarchs can view your emblems when they view it. So that is how that works. And the last one you can see there on the right hand side at the bottom is gear. And if you go into gear, you can see the research speed and all the different ones you have there. If you are able to up level to level 9, which you can see I've currently got a level 8, you would see the relevant arrow in here to say so. So there's nothing here that can be upgraded to the next level. It would show me. And in fact, actually, let's just see while I'm on this. Let's go into mounted defense again. Nothing there that needs upgrading. Monsters, no green arrows in there. Mounted attack. It'd be awesome if we actually sim one as an example. Ground, which I very rarely use if I'm being honest. And last but not least, the siege one. And no, there wasn't. So I am completely up to date on all the different ones there that I would need to do. You can also see your stamina, and you can also add stamina via this method. And of course, you can also see your Monarch XP as well. My Monarch is now level 40, and it will take me a long time before I even get close to being able to do this. And to show you as an example, actually, I will use everything that I've got. It was on 1.7%. Let's see what I've used. And this is the first time I've used this in quite a while. So you can imagine that I've saved up quite a bit. So I've used absolutely everything there, and it only took it to 5%. So a long time before I get to 41. But if you're down in the single digits or 10s, 20s, you may find that that will increase a lot quicker. So that's your Monarch. Also going across as well, you will see this in a different place because I'm playing on PC. But you can also see your resources as well, and how much you've got, and what your safe resource capacity is, as well as what your gathering warehouse capacity is as well. And so these are the different amounts I've got. Be aware on your food, if you've got more than you can physically hold, that will be ate up by any troops that you have. So 566 million is my limit. If I went higher than that, that would then just start to be wasted. So with your food, the advice there would be never to open it unless you actually need it. And that's what I do on this. This is always staying as a bare minimum so that I'm not wasting food on troops. Also got diamonds as well. You can see I've got 7 million. I've been saving for quite a while. So there are plenty of things for me to spend that on. You can also see your membership, items, all your different ones as well. What's on sale, pink gems, that kind of thing. It's all store related. And then if we go down the right hand side, you can see that we've got the big pack that's on offer at the moment. This is one of the better packs that comes with the different tiers that you can purchase. And if I was purchasing any packs, this is probably where I'd head, although there is a really good pack open at the moment, which I will talk about in a minute. Then, of course, we've got all our logging gifts where you can find different things. Anything with a red circle means it's something to collect, something I haven't yet done. So as soon as I collect that, that red circle disappears. So anytime you see that, sometimes you will have the odd moment where you will collect whatever it is and the red circle will still randomly appear and you can't really get an understanding as to why that is. And I was talking about the best package, and this is the one, Solar's Spiritual Beast. This is where you get help from your friends, and once they've done that, I think it's 6 helps you need, possibly. And once you've done that, you will then be able to get this, yeah, it's 6 helps at a reduced price, which is $14.99 instead of $19.99. And the reason that this is so good is because look at the kind of things that you unlock just for that $14.99. You can see you're getting all these kind of resources. You're getting everything in the blue tier over there, but you also get all of the things in the gold tier over here. Plenty of resources, plenty of crimson crystals. You also get blood of Ares. You're getting speed ups, and that continues all the way down. The crimson crystals are actually quite difficult to get hold of, so it's one of the better ways to be able to do that. And if I was to continue all the way down, which is pretty easy to do, if I'm being honest, once you get all the way down, you can see there's 50 different tiers. But also included in that is an Epic Historic General Premium. So for $14.99, definitely one of the better packs to buy on this. And then you can obviously complete tasks to increase this level, where you've got seasonal tasks. Those are the ones that boost it quite quickly. If I was to use Spiritual Beast XP and gain 2 million XP for any Spiritual Beast, I would then get 1,000 points towards this total, which would absolutely fly that up. And then, of course, you've got your daily tasks that you can also do as well for additional points. And if you were really struggling, you could use gems to go to the next level if you needed to. But in all honesty, if you're doing these things, especially including the seasonal, it shouldn't be a problem to do. Okay, so that was that one. Then we've got the event center. This is very important because this is where all the events are. So if I go into Dragon Battle, see there are things to collect and also things for me to do. It's very important to be doing these little mini games, so to speak, such as Dragon Battle. If I go into the Ranger Night Order, you can see I can claim that. And then we've got these little boxes that are going at the top, and you can see there's quite a few for me to collect. So let's actually collect a few on here. But I'll skip the animation, and you can see from my first box, that was what I got. Let's do a second one, and you can kind of get the idea that doing these things and making sure that you are doing them is important. If you need to know how to play the event, there's always your little eye icon, which will give you a nice little breakdown on how to play each event. And then, of course, what I will be doing as part of my 9-step process is talking in more detail about these particular ones. Now you can see here that I've got green tasks and I've also got purple. If I was to actually go into refresh and use 24,000 gems, you can see it changes all of them to the gold tier. And then all I need to do then, you might not be able to do this because the quick dispatch I know is relevant to a keep level. I'm not 100% sure which one it is, but I can do a quick dispatch to these particular ones. If you can't do it, what you'd need to do is do it manually and achieve these different things here. So you can see it's got team, has 2 generals with 5 stars, level 25, epic generals. So if I was to do that, that would all be all I need to send to that particular one. But if you can do this, the quick dispatch, then of course that's much quicker. Same again, going down, we've got more events going on. I haven't actually taken part in this yet so far, but again, doing these are important. This is actually a decent event, and I've just been too busy to do this at the moment, but I will certainly try my best to get up the rankings as soon as possible. And you can see that there are different rewards to collect. You've got an alliance ranking reward, got alliance score reward. Now this is interesting because if you noticed, I went on to this, and actually, if I go into Alliance Competition again, there's no red circle. There's no warning in there that there's something for me to collect. But when I clicked on this chest at the top, and then I went into Alliance Score Rewards, you can actually see I'm missing out on some decent rewards, including, for argument's sake, 40-hour times 8 speed up right at the top there, and that continues all the way down. I'd be missing out on 90 times 8-hour speed ups just because I didn't know this was available to claim. So checking that out is important. And then I'll click on claim all for them. I haven't earned any scores, which means I can't. So in order to do that, to claim that, I would actually need to do some events, which I definitely will do off screen and complete that. And you can see you also get some individual rewards as well, including a premium historic general. If you was able to reach the 3,650 point threshold, that's what you'd get. So again, continuing down here, I'm not going to go into all of these. I just wanted to give you an idea as to how important it is collecting these different things. Here's another example with Grace of Star Trail, which is a decent event. Spin that. You can see there's 3 days to go. I'm actually waiting for, not going to get it. I'm actually waiting for 20 or 50 of this so I can get an epic historic general. But I do have those points available to spend in the Starlit shop and currently have 20. And like I say, I'm hoping that I get another 20 so I can get the epic historic general. But if not, I will use those points on something else. It's also worth noting that if you click on the information on these as well, you will also see that things can disappear. So what I'm talking about there, let's go back into that, go into Starlit shop. So it's also very important as well with the Starlit shop, and you can see these different tokens I've got here. I've currently got 20 to spend. Not every event, but I'd say a good 70 or 80% of the events. And actually, weirdly, it doesn't say in here unless I'm looking in the wrong place. But normally, when you click on the information, it will tell you whether something runs out. I'm just having a look here. Unlimited draws, claim star trails. Coins do not carry over, which is fair enough. So the star trail that you can collect for free, that you can have your free spin with, don't carry over. And you can also see as well, cumulative rewards not claimed by the end of the event will disappear. So it's again keeping an eye on that, and that's for these ones down here. So if you don't collect these as you go along, and we always do 10 out of 10 because they give you that on the free side of things, then you wouldn't be able to collect them once the event's ended. And I think, but don't quote me because I can't see, that would be the same with these as well. So just making sure that you're going in to the different events, and you've seen a few examples there of what can be claimed and what can't be claimed, and also what actually doesn't show up as well. So lots of different events. You've got Kingdom Arena, Great Expedition. We've got the Server Monarch competition, which is now changed. So you can see there's plenty of events in there that you can be looking at and getting involved with. We've got the Crazy Eggs as well, which goes on all the time. We've got the Limited Recruit, which is where you spend a certain amount of gems, 10,000. And then when you do that, you can get additional rewards by choosing whoever it is you wish to be collecting. So there's lots of different people down there that you can use and try and get. And once you've done that, so if we look at this guy here, this is Charles the 12th, and I could be getting this guy in my rewards, just fragment tokens, or I can go for other people as well. This is a subordinate city general, Andrew Jackson, that you can use as well. So again, it's just making sure that on the event list that you are clicking in there and clicking everything possible. If you see something with a red dot, like I say, it doesn't mean there's always something there to collect, but it's definitely worth checking. And this is probably one of your most important tabs, the event center, for receiving rewards. And then lastly, underneath that, we have some more underneath. This is called the Midsummer Carnival, where you will also have an event to complete. So for this one's Voyage to Civilizations. So click on your free go. This is going to shoot out at me. Sometimes you get some really decent rewards in there. I've got an 8-hour speed up times 5. Nothing fantastic. But again, these coins can be used to collect different things. Yes, I do know I have 29 and I haven't spent them yet, but I will do at some point, which again gives additional buffs once you carry these. These actually are able to be stacked on each other and give awesome rewards as well. That's, again, while we're here, the I button, the information button, is your quick go-to to try and understand and see what you have to do with each event. And luckily, with Evony, the eye icon appears a lot throughout the game to give you a good understanding of what you need to do. So that's that. Now we come down to the bottom right hand corner, and the first thing that we can see is we've got 3 dots there. You can see there are many different things related to your account, such as items, where you can see all the different items you've got, and you can also do a little breakdown on that. The first one is common ones that you would expect to see all the time, and then you've also got the all option so that you can see exactly what you do have. And obviously sometimes it's worth just checking in there to see if there's actually something you've missed that may be beneficial to your gaming at the moment. We also have the mail, and this is mail from everywhere, including PvP reports, including announcements, and also you may have seen at the top there, Freakachu has sent a message that is alliance based or kingdom based, depending on what's being sent there. And again, we have some event ones as well. So it's all your mail and information that you would need. In the alliance tab, you've obviously got different things again that will be all alliance related. If you go into Alliance War, you can join rallies that are being set by other members. If you was to go into Alliance Gift, you can obviously see that there are daily gifts to collect. Same with the Alliance Treasure. Always worth going in and collecting this. Yes, of course, some of these are not fantastic, but they soon add up if you are on the game and doing this every day. You can also apply for other alliances as well, and you can see that you can also send alliance mail, invite, and see all the different members as well. Manage tab is for the R4s and above, who will be able to do different things in relation to this, but we can also see honor rank and see who is actually doing what on a weekly basis. We have the first tab, which is the overall, and then we have the second tab, which is what they've done this week. And you can see there's a lot of people there. I'm not in there, but there's a reason for that. Is one, I left actually the alliance at some stage, so this all reset, and currently I'm in 20th place. And also as well, we actually joined this server, and some of these people have been in this server from the beginning. Okay, so that's that one. And then right at the bottom down here, again, you've got some more things to click on. And again, some of these are event related and very, very beneficial. So the Sulis Wishing Pool is a great way to potentially get one of these. Let's just do this right now while I'm on here. So the first 2 I would select would be this one and this one. They're 2 of the difficult ones to get. Same with this, I would probably collect Blood of Ares. I would probably collect this, but it's all relevant to what actually you need more of. And then on the last one, I would definitely go for the resources. So the gold is another one, and obviously you've got Source of Life that you could also do. And once you lock them in, you can't change them. And then to get one of these coins, you would need to spend $9.99. Might be a little bit more for some other packs, but it's between $9.99 and $14.99. And if you remember that dragon pack that I showed you earlier, the Spiritual Beast one, sorry, that for £14.99 would give me a spin, 1 bath coin. I think they're called bath coins. Yes, they are. That would give me 1 spin at trying to win one of these rewards. And of course, the 4,800 is the ultimate reward, but it really wouldn't matter too much if you are going to spend. And actually, this is where I'm at on my game right now. I'm only spending this amount on my game currently because I've got to a point where I can't really increase too much, but I will always do this every couple of weeks. So for $9.99, you can see there it says purchase another 2,500 basic gems, and if I went into the top one and I went into the $9.99 one, you can see 2,500 gems is the reward. And if I went into this one at the bottom where that Soul of Spiritual Beast is, you can again see that if I was to purchase this one, I'm not sure if it tells me how many gems I get, but what I do know anyway is that £14.99 does come with that, and that is also enough to unlock a free bath coin. So that is for that. These are all the different coupons that you've got left. I've never used a ×2 because I'll always use a ×3, especially if I'm purchasing that £9.99 pack that I was mentioning. I would ×3 on that. Then, of course, you've got them little mini games where you can do the Mysterious Realm. I'll be honest, I don't play these games for that, and I haven't really done that. In terms of rewards that you can get, they look poor. I don't know if they're better than this as they go further down the line, but it's not something that I'm interested in completing. But, of course, you may be interested in doing that. And then, of course, we've got the Growth Fund. And then, last but not least, right down there on the bottom left-hand corner, this is where you would be able to see server versus server chat, your world chat, alliance chat, and then finally, if you've had any whispers where people are sending you private messages. And that is a little overview on all the different things that you can find going from left to right, all the way around your screen. There may have been a couple of things I missed. I could talk about subordinate cities. I think I'll do that when we talk about the buildings. Now, the buildings one that I'm going to do next, it genuinely could be an hour video. And the reason it could be an hour video, just talking on the subordinate city itself could take 10 minutes to explain that. And when you consider you've got all these different buildings to talk about, I have actually broken these down in a Learn Evony minute series where I talk about each one individually on its own. But I think one thing I would love to know is, would you rather see that all in one video? Would you prefer to keep it in the Learn Evony in minutes series where I talk about one building at a time? Or would it be better to break it down in 2 or 3 videos where maybe I'll talk about up to 10 on each of those videos? So that would be really, really interesting to know in the comments. There are plenty of things, as I mentioned, that we could still talk about. We could talk about champions, but again, I will talk about that perhaps on heroes. We've got dragons that we can also talk about as well. Again, there's the eye if you want more information about what and how things work. We've got the spiritual beasts, which is down here in your pasture, and you can obviously, again, click on the eye and see more information about all these different things as well going down. And that is where I'm going to leave this video. I'm going to leave that for part 2. Just wanted to give you an overview of all the different things. And the one take from this, without a doubt, is being involved in the different events, especially the really good ones. Ranger Night Order is a decent event. The Grace of Star Trail is a decent event. And if you were interested in spending money, I spend £10 a fortnight, and I spend that in here on this main pack, which comes with the 5 different tiers. And once I do that, I use a ×3 coupon, which then also opens up a bath coin, which I can use on the Soulish Wishing Pool, which gives me a shot at winning one of these lovely prizes. So that is it for this video. Do let me know in the comments if there's anything I've missed, if anything else you would like me to talk about, or maybe you would like to add some information to yourself. I do know they're doing a community thing that is now on YouTube. I've not really looked into it, but it's where we can share things all together. That might also be something that we could get involved with. And then, of course, empirebuildacademy.com. I will download the transcript from this, turn it into a blog post, and I will include the video and the blog post on my website so you can also follow it on there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something today, and I will see you in the construction video next on Evony. Thanks for watching.